Sí, hola, bona tarda. Si esteu preparats, començaríem la roda de premsa amb el capità del Futbol Club Barcelona, Andrés Iniesta.
Hello, so good afternoon, and we've got the press conference with Andrés Iniesta, the first team captain, the day ahead of tomorrow's Copa del Rey Final against Sevilla.
Edgar.
Hola, Andrés. Edgar Fornos de Barça TV. Bon dia. Serà el quart partit oficial que jugareu contra el Sevilla.
This is the fourth official game of the season against Sevilla. So if Andrés could perhaps look back at those previous three games and say whether he thinks tomorrow's game is going to pan out similarly. Yeah, we know which team we're playing against. We know that beyond the results that we have had against them, it's a team that makes things difficult for us. They've got a lot of different options, very good players, and a manager who enforces his identity upon the team. They know what they're trying to do. Every player knows his role. Both when they're winning or losing, they're very clear about what they need to do. So I expect a tough final in a sporting sense. We'll need to play a very complete game to get the title.
Hola Andrés, Ashraf Benaid de BN Sports. El hecho de que el Sevilla haya jugado una final de desgaste, podemos decir.
Sevilla playing the game on Wednesday, the Europa Cup final, is that beneficial or not? I think it makes them more dangerous. Because they've just won a title. They're feeling very positive, very motivated because now they're chasing another title. I think it makes them even more dangerous than what they were beyond the fact they may be more tired. I'm sure that after the game, depending on the result, people will talk about whether they were more tired or not and whether that had influence. But going into the game, I think it makes them more dangerous.
Hola, Andrés, Sergi Andreu, de Catalunya Ràdio. Has jugat els últims 8 anys 6 finals amb aquesta de Copa del Rey.
6 Copa del Rey finals in the last 8 years. You've won 3 of them. So perhaps with your experience of the build-up to previous Copa del Rey finals, how does this year compare with previous Cup final experiences?
Partiendo de la base de que cada escenario es distinto,
well, every game is different. Every stage is different. There are always pros and cons. But I think the team are fine. I feel that they're ready to win this trophy and to round off a very good season. We've just won the league. Now we can add the cup. And that would be a major achievement this season. So we're really very excited about the game. We're looking forward to it and hoping to win another title. It's a question of extending the great years that we've been having here. So yes, it's very important to us.
En aquest sentit, Andrés, Roger Saperas de RAC1, ahir deia Rakitic que el fet d'haver guanyat la Lliga, la Rua, que feia que semblava que les cames anaven més soles.
Rakitic talking about the parade the other day and how winning the league perhaps affects your morale ahead of the cup final. Yeah, well, I think it's what I said before. It's much better to go into a big game like this with something positive behind you. The fact we've won the league and have now got the cup to come as the final game of the season, I think it adds value to the situation. Hopefully we can play a very complete game against an opponent that we know play very well this week, and we're going to suffer against them because they're such a strong side. As is any final, it's going to be a difficult game. You've won the league, Sevilla have won the Europa League, you're both chasing a double. Do you feel that you're perhaps under more or less pressure than
Yo creo
Sevilla?
que cada uno tiene la presión de
I think each
de
team
ganar,
has its own pressure to win the game.
Nunca he conocido una final que este club o
I've
este
never
equipo no
played a
tenga
final
la
at this club
obligación,
where
entre
we
comillas,
haven't
de
felt the
ganar.
obligation
Es
of
decir,
winning.
Luchamos cada temporada por
Every
todos
season
los
we try
títulos,
to fight
unos
for
nos
every
acercamos más a
title.
todos, otros nos
We get
quedamos
closer to
un poco
others,
lejos,
a bit
pero
further from others.
la exigencia y la
But the
obligación
demands and the obligations
de ganar es
to win
casi permanente.
are always
Es
the
decir,
same, it's
es
permanent.
casi permanente cada partido que
It's pretty much
que
permanent in
jugamos.
every game we
Imagínate
play,
una
so
final,
imagine
después de
what
todo
it's like
el trabajo,
going
todo
into
el
a
trayecto de
final
esta
with all the
competición,
work we
pues,
put into this
nos
competition.
sentimos capacitados sobre
So
todo
we
para,
feel
para
that we're
poder
able
ganar a Sevilla,
to win
sabiendo
against Sevilla,
que le tenemos mucho
but always
respeto
knowing
y
that
que,
it's a team
y
we
que
respect a
habrá
lot.
momentos que
And there are going to be times when they're going to have their options to win the game. We need to minimize those
Hola, Andrés, Germán
chances.
García, Radio Nacional. Se habla mucho del doblete, pero hay que tener en cuenta que
Talking about the double,
más títulos, como es el Mundial de Clubes,
but you've
como
also
es
won
la
the Clubs
Supercopa
World
de
Cup
Europa,
and the
principio de temporada.
European Super Cup this
Acabando
season.
con ese doblete, más esos
So
dos
to have won the
títulos,
double
¿qué
and those
calificación
two
le podrías
titles,
poner al
how would you assess the season as a whole?
Bueno, calificación
Well, as an assessment, very good.
diría, no sé, cada uno puede
I don't
ponerle
know, anyone
el
will have their
adjetivo
own adjective,
que crea o que quiera. Yo creo que una
but
temporada
I think
que ganas
a
bueno, más allá de
season
la
where
Supercopa,
you
del
win,
Mundial
as you
y
said,
todo,
the European Super
que
Cup, the
ganas
Club
la
World
Liga
Cup,
y la Copa
we
del
win the
Rey,
league and the Copa del Rey.
es una muy buena
That's a
temporada.
very good season.
Sí, es cierto que afortunadamente los últimos años o una trayectoria
I mean,
de
luckily,
años atrás, pues
in recent
nos
years,
hemos exigido o
we've
nos
made
hemos
these huge
mal acostumbrado a
demands.
que
Perhaps
casi-
we've become rather
que se no- no se le
dangerously
dé casi valor
used to
a conseguir una
winning
liga.
things that people don't even
Eso ha sido
appreciate.
lo que
What's
casi
got
nos
into
hemos
winning a
habituado.
league is
Pero
almost something
evidentemente que
we've just got
ganar
used to.
Liga y Copa, pues,
But winning the
tiene un
league and the
valor
cup
muy
has a
grande.
very special value.
Silvia.
Hola Andrés, Silvia Ortiz, Cadena COPE. No es que te quiera retirar, pero no
I
sé
don't
si
want
viendo lo
you
bien que estás esta
to
temporada,
retire, but
antes
looking
jugar
at
muchos
this
años más, como
season,
decía Puyol, hasta los 40.
Puyol has said you could play until you're 40.
Yo no creo que
Is
llegue
that
a
true?
40.
Ooh, 40, I don't know if I'll get
Bueno,
to
nunca se sabe,
40,
¿no?
but
Como se suele decir, pero
you never know.
no, lo que me hace feliz realmente esta temporada
What
es
I'm
que
really happy about this
las
season
sensaciones que he tenido pues han sido muy
is that
positivas.
I
¿no?
felt very
Entonces,
positive about
pues, bueno,
things.
que pasen los años y puedas tener
The
estas
years
sensaciones
are passing
con ahora
by,
mismo,
but
pues,
I've
todavía
still got the
le hace
same
más optimista, sobre
positive
todo para-
vibe, so I'm still
para el año que
optimistic
viene o
about
para
next
lo más
season.
cercano, ¿no? A partir de ahí, pues,
It's the near future
es
that I'm
evidente
thinking about.
que cuando lo más importante es que el Barça, el equipo,
Clearly,
siga-
the most
siga en
important
esta
thing is
buena
that Barca,
dinámica
the team, continues
resultados, de
its
títulos, y
winning
que todo-
dynamic,
y que
keeps
todos esos
winning
factores
trophies.
que a veces van de forma negativa, pues sean positivos.
There are all
En ese
those
sentido,
factors that sometimes can be
pues,
interpreted
lo
as negative.
afronto
They need to be turned
este
around
final con-
and made
con muy buenas
positive.
sensaciones
But I'm
y
looking
me
at this
hace
final and I'm
muy optimista
feeling
de cara-
very good about
de
it,
cara al
very
futuro más
optimistic
inmediato.
about it, and
Tampoco quiero
also
mirar
about the near
más
future.
de 2-3 años.
I'd rather not look any further
Acabar
than
esta
2 or
temporada de la
3
mejor forma
seasons
posible
ahead. Just want to
y
finish
luego,
this
pues, el año que
season
viene,
as
pues,
well as possible.
empezarla con
And
las
well,
nuevas sensaciones.
next season,
Ojalá
hopefully things
sea
will
así.
carry on the same.
Andrés, Carlos Escolán de Radio Marca, buenas tardes. En la línea de Germán y de Roger, por aquello que decías de que a veces no se le da el valor necesario a una
You
liga.
were saying that sometimes
Eso,
people
38
don't
jornadas de
appreciate
partido,
what's gone into
toda una
winning a
temporada.
league title,
Rakitic
38
dijo ayer
games.
que no dependía del partido de Copa valorar bien la temporada.
Rakitic said
¿Estáis
that the cup
en el vestuario
final
en esa
isn't
línea?
key
Es
to
decir, que no
evaluating
necesariamente
the
se
whole
debe ganar la Copa
season.
para valorar bien la temporada.
Do you think that you need to win the cup for it to have
Estoy en la
been
línea de
a good
que-
season?
Lo he comentado en alguna otra ocasión.
Well, it's
Cuando-
something that I've
cuando ganas
said
la liga,
before.
Es imposible que sea una
When you win the league,
mala temporada.
it's impossible to say it's been
O
a
sea,
bad
ganar la
season.
liga es una buena temporada
Winning
siempre.
the
A
league
partir de
is a
ahí,
good
pues,
season in
tienes
itself.
los otros títulos
Then there are the other
que son los que
titles,
te hacen pues llegar
which
más
perhaps
alto o-
move
o
things
menos alto, ¿no?
further
Por lo
up or
tanto,
bring things down.
vamos a intentar que esta temporada
So
pues,
we're going to try to
habiendo
make
ganado la
sure
liga,
that this season, having won the league, can be taken a step higher by winning the Copa del Rey. And then we'd be even happier with the season. That's how we feel. But everybody is free to make their own conclusions.
Creo que tiene mucho valor volver a ganar
But I think winning the league again was an achievement in itself, but let's hope we can add the Copa del Rey.
Estamos hablando de vuestro palmarés, fíjate que habéis ganado 4 Champions.
Talking about what you've won, 4 Champions League, 6 of the last Ligas. 5 of you tomorrow will be winning your 4th Copa del Rey. Do you think that winning the Copa del Rey tomorrow will further seal your legacy of the last decade? Will it be another step in that direction? Another step forward in our history, not just of the players, but what the club has achieved. But we're playing against a team that in the last decade has also won a lot of trophies. They've got very used to playing finals and winning finals. So there's a lot of attractive things about tomorrow's game and things that we're going to need to overcome. And let's hope we can add another cup to our collection, both individually and as a club.
Andrés.
Hola, buenas tardes. Andrés Corpas, del diario El Mundo. Con la Liga ya acumulas 27 títulos como profesional.
You've won 27 titles as a professional. Are you keeping a check on what you've won? And what does it mean to have won so many trophies?
Bueno, sí que llevo la cuenta.
Yeah, I do keep count.
Gente a tu alrededor que te lo recuerda.
There are people around you that are always reminding you of these things as well.
A día de hoy creo que no soy consciente de
I'm perhaps at the moment not aware of the magnitude of winning so many titles, spending so many years in this club. As a professional, my motivation is to continue winning titles and making those numbers bigger and bigger. Not just for myself, I always put the club first, and it's a question of making this club bigger. So it's absolute joy. I couldn't have imagined this in my wildest dreams, and it makes me optimistic about the future and my chances of winning even more things.
Talking about
the happiness about winning the league, you as the captain, how would you assess the morale of the team, and will you all be travelling tomorrow to Madrid?
Sí, hombre, como he dicho antes, ganar la Liga, todo el mundo.
Yeah, of course, everybody
estábamos muy felices.
Is very happy about winning the league again.
Todo el año, torneo de la regularidad.
This is the tournament you play for over the season, which assesses your consistency, and it's good that we're pretty much all fit, and the manager's got a big squad to pick from for this game, and that's important, that we can end the season on the field with a good vibe all round. I think it's pretty positive generally. One more game to go, and there's a title to play for, and an important title, so we'll be putting every sense into making sure that that title comes back here.
Hola Andrés, Ignacio Oliva para Goal.com. A propósito de títulos, es tu primer año como
Other than titles, this has been your first year as the first captain.
Más allá de los títulos, sin embargo, ¿cómo te
You've won 3 titles, you could make it 4. How would you look back on your first season as first captain?
Muy bien.
Yeah, very good.
Muy bien. Es una sensación muy bonita y
I'm very happy about it. It's a very special feeling. Not just wearing the captain's armband, but there have been lots of experiences like the responsibility, representing your teammates and your club and your people. I think I've been quite natural in the role. I know that I've got a very strong, healthy squad that I'm playing alongside, who are all very aware of what we need to do. We all talk together, and to be able to play and be with people like that makes life much easier.
Hola, buenas tardes. Rafael Verso, Tutto Sport. Hace 10 años que se ganó la primera Champions.
10 years ago,
del nuevo ciclo.
you won the first Champions League of this era.
Ocurrido muchas cosas, se han ganado muchas
A lot of
cosas.
things have happened since then. You've won a lot. You weren't a central figure in the team originally. Now you very much are. If you could perhaps talk about how the demands and things have developed over these 10 years.
Bueno, ha cambiado evidentemente que a nivel positivo.
Well, obviously things have changed positively.
Lo que hemos vivido, bueno, o igual unos años atrás con la liga de Rijkaard y
we can go back to when we won the league under Rijkaard and Van Gaal before that.
sobre todo los 10, 12
But the dynamic of the last 10, 12 years has been
muy positiva.
Very, very positive.
No sé si algún club
I don't know if
ha llegado a tener
any club has ever had so much success over such a drawn-out period.
El sentir, la forma de ver el fútbol y la forma de ver
The way that we see football and see things ourselves and also amongst our fans, I think has changed and in a positive way.
que este club pues no se permite
The thing is that
errores, no
this
se
club
permite
doesn't allow errors,
bajones, no se permite
doesn't allow
sin conseguir
slumps,
cosas. Y eso es
insists
algo
that we
que
continue
nunca cambiará.
winning things, and that's
Más o
something that
menos,
will never change, whether we win
siguiente
more or
partido, si
lose
no lo
things.
ganas, pues se generarán todo tipo
We
de
still need to
dudas,
win
opiniones,
every
y eso es
game,
algo
and if we don't win our next game,
nunca cambiará,
it'll
pero más allá de
continue
eso,
generating all these doubts and concerns, but
diría que
I would say that
de una forma muy significativa.
I'd say things have taken a significant turn for the better.
Un poquito Mundo Deportivo, buenos días. Como capitán del equipo me gustaría preguntarle cómo interpreta o cómo ha vivido el hecho de que primero algunos aficionados del Barça no pudieron acudir a la final con esteladas y que finalmente puedan acudir con esteladas.
Talking about the Estelada, the Catalan flag, and being the change of decision where they're now going to be allowed in the stadium.
Cuando no se habla
I always say the same thing when we're not talking about strictly footballing issues or things that we're going to find on the field of play. It generates all kinds of debates and opinions.
Uno intenta estar un poco.
So we try to stay out of those things.
Que la gente pueda ir, pueda disfrutar, pueda
But the important thing is that the fans are allowed to go, come and enjoy themselves in the stadium, see their team hopefully winning, and hopefully that title making everybody happily, independently of what they think about a certain flag or not.
Xavi Soler, del Esportiu de Catalunya. Ya ha superado el bache del mes de abril. No sé si...
Got over the negative period in April, so do you think you're back to your best form of the season?
Bueno, sí es cierto que todo bache siempre aparece.
Yeah, well, every time you hit on a slump, and it seems to be there's one every season, this year's came in April at a very determinant time.
Y a raíz de eso creo que el equipo volvió a coger buenas sensaciones.
But I think we've got over that, and the sensations are back again. We've got our energy back. We were able to win the league, and now I think the team's in really good form and very ready to challenge for the Copa del Rey title.
Afrontaremos con las máximas garantías.
I think we can offer every guarantee. And we've got every hope of winning the tournament.
Josep Soldado de la Sexta 3 Media. En relación a lo que te preguntaban sobre el tema de las esteladas,
going back to the Estelada flags,
¿hasta qué punto el futbolista o se abstrae o se siente
how
incómodo
far
de vivirlo?
do these things disturb footballers?
Como el vuestro.
And perhaps not being able to voice an opinion.
Máximo exponente ya ha dicho su opinión.
Yeah, well, at the club, the president has given his opinion, so it's best for me to keep my own opinion to myself.
tanto en un sitio como en otro se puede
Whatever I say can always be
lo único que me interesa
misinterpreted.
es acabar el partido
All I really care about is finishing tomorrow's game at 11 o'clock
y que el
or
Barça
so
sea el campeón de
on
Copa.
Sunday night, and Barca being the cup
De ideas
champions.
de cada uno, de lo que pueda
Otherwise, people can have their own ideas and interpretations.
a todos
I
los
just want
culés,
to make
y lo
Barca
único
fans happy,
me preocupa
and the only way I can do that is by winning the game. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Don't go away, because Luis Enrique will be speaking from the same spot in just a few moments.
aproximada serà d'uns 20 minuts. Gràcies.
Hello and welcome back. We had Andrés Iniesta, the first team captain, speaking about 5 minutes ago. And now in the hot seat, we've got Luis Enrique, first team manager. Of course, the subject of conversation is the Copa del Rey final tomorrow against Sevilla. So, the last official game of the season. What's the team feeling like going into this game? Good morning. Last chance of the season. Everything has a start, everything has a finish. We're very excited about the chance to win another title. The team's feeling good. The last 2 or 3 seasons have been a bit different to other weeks because we've not had midweek fixtures, which has given us a great chance to work on things midweek. So, yeah, feeling really good about things.
Sí. Javier.
Hola Luis, Javier Geraldo del Sport. Como dices, el último partido del año, de la temporada, no sé si se os ha hecho muy larga la temporada y si en este sentido...
Last game of the season, has it been a long season for you? Have you had to ask the players to perhaps find one last drive of effort, or do you think that there's no need to ask anything of them? End of season is always going to bring the chance to win titles. It's easy in that sense. The players are already focused, is what they've been focusing on all season. They want to finish off the season with titles. It's like any other season. The players have always had that mentality. I don't think I need to do anything special this season.
Esta temporada el Barça jugó 2 finales en poco tiempo.
Last season you played at the start of the season, you played 2 finals in quick succession. You were a bit tired after the trip to Georgia to play the European Cup final. Do you think the same kind of thing could happen to Sevilla, because they had a really intense game against Liverpool on Wednesday? I don't know. Going back to that Super Cup, we had to play extra time, and then the game, we didn't come back until really early in the morning. We didn't get much sleep, and almost straight away we were back into a game here against Bilbao. That was the situation we had, and we've got no hard feelings. Bilbao won that title fair and square. Sevilla, they won the Europa League again, brilliantly. And I think they've had enough time, and I think that was probably more of a boost to them. And now they've got the chance to win the double, which is very important for a team like Sevilla. I think generally it's going to be a good thing for them that they played that game.
¿Cómo valoras el momento del Sevilla, que viene de 3
Talk about Sevilla. They've just won the Europa League 3 times in a row. And also,
cuando hay éxitos no solo hay que valorar una figura, habría que valorar
about the manager. I don't think that you need to pick out anybody, certain signings or anything, but obviously the work really does come down to the manager. He's one of the best managers in European football at the moment. I can only congratulate them on winning another title. It's like us, probably the team that's played the second largest number of major finals in recent years, and they also show how they're very good at coming from behind in finals. So I think it's going to be a really interesting final. Regardless of who scores first, I think it's going to be a good game.
Todo lo contrario, hay que estar muy preparado para superar todas esas.
I think we're going to have a lot of difficulties that we're going to need to overcome in the game tomorrow.
No sé si aquests últims dies has vist la final de la Supercopa del mes d'agost amb el Sevilla.
Did you watch the Spanish Super Cup? The European Super Cup game was Sevilla. Crazy game, of course, ended 5-4. Do you think there's anything in that game that could help you with tomorrow's game, or have things changed too much since then? No, there's always things to look at. We always have a look at games. The games we played against Sevilla this year, including the Super Cup game, not looking at what we did, but also looking at what Sevilla have done all season. But it was a really strange game, that Super Cup final. Our players had only been back for a week for training, and they were thrown straight into a game which went into extra time. I don't think the players were quite ready for a game of that intensity quite yet. We were way off the kind of level we're at the moment. Sevilla had played a few games already, so they had a bit of an advantage on us in that respect in the Super Cup game. But we know that Sevilla are a team that have always played very well against us in attack, in defence, in counter-attack. They beat us at the Sanchez Pizjuan earlier this season. It's a team that's always been hard for us to play against. That's why we've been preparing intensely for this game. We've been speaking about different things to try to make sure they try to cause us as little danger as possible tomorrow. You want to win another title. If you win the double, how would you assess that for the whole season? Look, ask me again in 2 days' time. Hopefully we'll have won, and I'll say it's been a wonderful season. Let's wait and see. What if I buy a bicycle between tomorrow and tomorrow? I'm not going to buy a bicycle. I've already got loads of bikes. Thank you. And my wife would be furious if I did.
Hem escoltat a Iniesta, a Rakitic, dient que
Iniesta and Rakitic have spoken that they're very aware it's going to be a difficult game. There's going to be a lot of suffering involved. Let's hope not. But in what final do you not suffer? A final against a team that's currently flying high as far as optimism is concerned. They do have some important players missing, but if I know something about Sevilla, it's that they play as a unit and they're going to make things difficult for us. I'm optimistic. I think we're going to win, but I know it's going to be difficult, and I know that there will be fighting to win this title until the very last minute.
Buenas tardes, Andrés Corpas del diario El Mundo. Dani Alves hasta la fecha ha conseguido 31 títulos como
Dani Alves has won 31 titles as a professional.
Desde su punto de vista, ¿qué puede ayudar al jugador a ser tan competitivo y a querer ganar todavía más títulos?
How much does it help for him to be so competitive and his hunger for titles? Just look at Dani. Not just in games, but in training sessions. There are very few players like him. That's why he wins so many titles. He's a complete guarantee. He's an innate competitor. And if you add his footballing qualities, that's Dani Alves.
Hola Luis, Silvia Ortiz, Cadena COPE. Me gustaría saber si te sorprendió la decisión de la delegación del gobierno.
Were you surprised by the decision to allow the Estelada flags? And do you think it's a good thing?
Bueno, sorprender ya en este país, sorprenderme ya.
Well, there's nothing that surprises me in this country.
Y bueno, creo que al final se ha llegado
a
la lógica más
I think logic won through in the end. You have to respect the freedom of expression of people and everybody's different points of view.
Luis, aquí Carlos Escolán en directo para Radio Marca. Buenas tardes. Te voy a hacer la pregunta de Raf, pero a la inversa, sin hablar de supuestos. Rakitic dijo ayer que no dependía de ganar la Copa, que fuera una buena temporada.
This is a good season, regardless of whether you win the cup or not. Iniesta said winning the league is always going to be a good season. Do you think it will have been a good season even if you don't win the double? Look, what season are you talking about here? This season?
Sí, de esta.
15-16? When we've won the Spanish Super Cup, the Clubs World Cup, and the league. I've just given you my answer, haven't I? You're talking about this season. What do I have to sign? If I can sign for next season, if we win this many titles as well, I'll sign right away. Is this a dilemma? Is this the controversy? What are you talking about here?
Buenas tardes, Luis. Alfredo Martínez para Onda Cero. Háblame de lo que es la final, una gran fiesta, ¿no?
Talk about the final. It's a fiesta.
Es la final de la Copa del Rey.
The Copa del Rey final.
Tiene algo de místico, ¿verdad?
There's something mystic about the Copa del Rey final. Yeah, as a player. This is one of the greatest games, one of the greatest games, because everything is all or nothing in a very important tournament, and because you go to a stadium that's always packed with fans of both teams, and that's always a stimulus. There's something very special about that game, just because it's all or nothing over 90 minutes, or 120 sometimes, or whatever. But one of the nicest games a professional can ever play in. But we're used to playing in finals like this. We never get tired of playing these games. A lot of respect for the opposition. I think we more than deserve to be in the final, and let's see if we deserve to win the trophy.
Luis Germán García, Radio Nacional. El hecho que lleguéis al último partido de Liga de la temporada, vamos, con todos los efectivos en condiciones.
Last game of the season with a full squad, no injuries. Does that speak volumes for how the fitness department has been working this season? Yeah, we've had some injuries this year. We've overcome them. Thank you to all the work from the medical services and from the players, because they're the main protagonists of these situations. But we've done the same work as ever, perhaps this year somewhat better, because things always improve. We always try to improve. But in a contact sport like football, there are always going to be injuries. It's something that you need to deal with every season, but I think we've worked very hard to help the players, and when unfortunately they do get injured, we've done the right thing to get them back fit within the appropriate period.
Acostumbrado a que entren las dudas cuando se pierde algo. Usted acaba de reivindicar el valor de lo que
Okay, you just said that it's been a great season, that you've won these titles this year. Do you think sometimes people undervalue what this team is achieving? No, I don't really think that kind of thing. I think tomorrow the season's coming to an end, and it's been a wonderful season. Look, it's up to other people to analyse things as they want to. This team has got used to winning a lot of titles, but that's normal. We're used to that now. And if people don't appreciate what we're doing, well, so be it. But I think we've sent out a very strong message since the start of the season. The fans have understood that. I know that because people tell me when I see them in the street. They're very optimistic and very appreciative of what we've done, and I would like things to continue as they have, because there will be other times when we don't win as many things. It's not they'll be harder to win, but they won't be one, and I think that's when people will appreciate particularly what we've achieved over these very special years.
A lo largo de una temporada se saca muchas veces el tema, se recuerda muchas veces que el Barça es más que un club.
People keep saying Barça being more than a club, and because of its sporting values and its role in Catalan society.
El presidente Bartomeu a llamarle y decir, mira, por el hecho de las esteladas no vamos a...
If the president had said that because of the Estelada flag issue, would you have understood that decision? Because Barça is the ambassador of Catalonia in the world. You said if in that sentence about 3 times. I don't like mixing politics with football. It's not something I've ever done. I'm not really a political person. I don't want people to even know about my political views. Yeah, there are certain issues that do affect football, but really my idea is playing football, playing attacking football and focusing on the football things. There are other things that are spoken about around the game, but I think we just need to hold respect for different opinions. Maybe I like some things, don't like things, like some colours, don't like some colours. Yeah, Barça is more than a club. Yeah, of course it's got its Catalan identity. But we have to remember there's a lot of supporters in Asturias, in Andalusia, in England, in China, in Japan. That's the kind of club we are. We just need to respect everybody's ideologies within respect for freedom of expression and without causing any hurt to anybody. So those of us who are Catalans, those who aren't from Catalonia, those who are Madrid, we need to respect everybody.
Buenas tardes, mister. Max Cárdenas del canal del fútbol. Prácticamente nadie puede dudar que Lionel Messi sigue siendo el mejor jugador.
No one can doubt that Leo Messi is still the best player in the world, but
puede ser Luis Suárez quizás el jugador más determinante no solo del Barcelona, sino
has Luis Suárez been the most decisive player this season?
Bueno, yo creo que hemos estado todos a un nivel.
Well, I think the whole team has played extremely well. Leo Messi, for me, is still number one. He's had a good season. He had to get over an injury that kept him sidelined for some months. I still don't think there's any debate that he's the best player. Luis Suarez has achieved some amazing figures this year, but there's Neymar as well, Andrés, Busquets, Dani, Jordi, any of the players in the team, the whole squad, because to win a title, you need all of the players, all the members of the squad.
Luis, sí, Josep Sola de la Sexta, 3 Media. Si recuerdas, el año pasado a estas alturas estábamos todos muy pesados los periodistas preguntándote si vas a...
Last season, we're asking you about whether you were going to renew your contract or not.
Este año, ¿estás contento de que tomaras aquella decisión de
Are you now happy that you took that decision to stay here for another year, and are you happy with the job you've done this year?
Sí, sí, sí.
Yes, yes, yes.
Molt bé, doncs moltes gràcies.
Thank you for that. Nice answer to end. Tomorrow it's the Copa del Rey final. Don't forget, it kicks off at 9:30 Central European time.